What's good, my G's? Your boy Snow, Ignorant Gamers in the house. How you doing? How you living? How you gaming? Of course, you already know G stands for Gamers. Welcome to the channel. For those of you coming across this for the first time, stick with us. A couple of videos. Subscribe now, and then you can unsubscribe later. And always converse with us. I say us because it's a team of us. And my name is Snow, the PlayStation whore. No, the resident PlayStation gamer. Uncle RZA is the Microsoft whore. Shout out to everybody who's already subscribed to us. Let me get to this video. As you guys know that we are and we've spoken about Need for Speed. You know, and we had a chance to be a part of the beta. And as you know, the NDA was announced on the beta, and now today is Monday, 11/2/258 as I'm recording this, and this NDA didn't just extend to us. There was a lot of people who weren't able to talk about this game, and those who were blessed enough or fortunate enough to have the opportunity to get it, they weren't saying certain things and we weren't saying certain things, or actually we said nothing because we're a small channel and we're not even trying to get any kind of ban hammers put on us. With that said, shout out to EA Access, because I've been playing this game for about 5 hours, and without saying anything that I could have said during the NDA stage, this is fair game right here, and I'm not going to bring none of that over to here. So, at this point of what I've been seeing and what I've been playing of my 5 hours in for the EA Access, shout out to Xbox and the EA Access. I love my PlayStation brand, but goddamn it, is this thing a fucking wonderful tool, and I'm so saddened that it's not on the PlayStation. EA Access has just given me the ultimate ability to pre-order my game across 2 platforms. I pre-ordered it for the Xbox, I pre-ordered it for the PlayStation. What I've experienced with the Need for Speed may have exceeded my expectations, and I do not feel that this game will not be a outright purchase for me. What would make the game great, and I don't factor this in when I'm purchasing games, you may do it and that's okay, I respect it. I do not buy games, or I try not to buy games based on if my friends will continue playing these games. I don't like to buy games because my friends are buying these games, or my gamer friends are buying these games, so we can play together. Need for Speed is always online. I'm not going to get into that. That's beating a dead horse. This is happening. Whatever. There are certain things in the game that I'm going to get into very quickly. Off the back, I don't feel like manual is a big problem for someone who's been playing arcade games for a long time, and I never really played games in the previous past with manual controls. Now that I have been playing since I think Forza 4 I started, and loosely at that, Forza 5 and Forza Horizon 2, now I'm doing Drive Club full manual. I kind of appreciate it and I kind of like it, but it sucks for people who always play manual, so that's not my issue. I also don't have an issue with there being no cockpit view in this game, because the last 2 games didn't have it either, and not saying that it's cool. I don't know about the third game behind that. I think it was The Run. I'm not saying it's cool, I'm not saying it's not cool. What I'm saying is it's not a thing that I miss. I do appreciate it in Drive Club. I do appreciate it in Forza Motorsport and in Horizon. I hope the next grid has it as well. My last grid was Grid 2. I didn't play Autosport enough to say. I was using the third person view for that anyway. But again, it's not a big deal for me. Oh yeah, and there's one other thing too. There's also no wheel support. So for those who have wheels, there's another X. But it doesn't bother me. My biggest matter of fact, let me stay more positive. Of sound, amazing. I mean, EA don't fail when it comes to sound. Like, I don't care across what engine they want to claim, across what franchise it is, EA does not fail when it comes to sound. And these cars sound so good that you start to question Drive Club and Forza. Although not Forza so much, because those games, Forza and a few other car games, they amplify the sounds as if it was like for movies, which is why people always shit on Gran Turismo and people try to shit on and Drive Club. But just stop, right? When when a car company comes to you for your library of sounds for their vehicles, stop the fucking hate. So the sound is amazing. Visually, for what I've been seeing on the Xbox through EA Access trial, it's on par. It looks good. I don't have an issue with it. I could dig into it, but it's not worth it because it is a pretty game. I don't really have an issue, although I see many people having this issue with the game never going to daytime. And the reason why I say this is because I remember playing Midnight Club. And although I'm almost at liberty to say that we were racing at day during Midnight Club a few times, but I always went into that, and I'm talking about the original Midnight Clubs. I was always set and always okay with it being daytime. I mean nighttime. And I did play a game that was always at night, and I never had an issue with it. So I'm not gonna get into that. That is not my thing. But I just feel like what they were saying to us, projecting to us, and it led my expectations, which I'm very good at managing. It led my expectations to go higher than the game. Now they do say that they have things going on beyond the game, and who knows what that may be. As of right now, the one other thing that I have a problem with Need for Speed is not the audio, but the music. The music, in my opinion, this is probably the worst music in a Need for Speed game that I've played. I've not played every Need for Speed game, but I've played this one, and I played the last two. And then you go backwards. I made a play 3. I don't count the Shift series because that wasn't meant to be an arcade racer. So this is probably the worst lineup. Although the one Pusha T song and there's like one techno song and another one's like those move. But we're talking about 3 out of how many licensed songs. And in a game like this, that's important. Underground was important. That music also helps you, even if you don't like whatever genre music is in that game that you did not like, those were good songs. You just preferred not to hear them. They weren't terrible songs. These songs, I straight up don't like. And if you think I have an issue with preference of music, I love the soundtrack on Most Wanted. The reboot Most Wanted. I love that soundtrack, so I don't want to hear that shit. People were talking about the campaign with the mix of the FMVs with the fake cars and all that. You know what? Let me tell you something. Those actors are pretty much really good. I felt iffy about the blend when I first saw it, and then as I had my chance to see more footage and experience it, and to experience the final product, it's not an issue. Yeah, those cars will look a little funny when you're in the garage and you see you see the live action person move in front of the car, or when the car is doing some jaggy shit as it's panning. That's fine. I don't care. They could have done it better. I will agree with you on that, but it's not nothing to take your gun out and pistol whip the developers for. I think the acting was pretty good. I think it's the direction that's probably an issue, but the actors do a very good job for a genre that's very hard to carve out a story for in the first place. We all know we want to do what we want to do when we pick a car game, which is race. So I have no issues with those. It's not terrible. The Run was terrible, okay? But I respect them for trying something different, because people always say, oh, they should do something different, try something new, and then they don't give them props where it's due. It's just their direction was bad on that. Alright, so when we play racing games, we play racing games. So I'm gonna get to the track. No matter what car you pick out the gate, it's going to be trash. It's supposed to be that way, okay? So if you hear people who ain't put enough time into it, they didn't upgrade no cars or didn't upgrade no parts, you have to take them with a grain of salt. You have to take them with a grain of salt. You can't go all the way through, because you have to upgrade the cars. Once you upgrade the cars, those things improve. It becomes like any other game that you play. When you get a car that's super tuned out the gate, just because you can't tune them don't mean they ain't already tuned. So that's the one thing right there off the bat. I've played enough to know that, even when I experienced it before. And you could look at some of those those videos of people who are privileged to say that that is a real thing. I think the slider between the grip and the grip and the drift is a nice combo system. I did find myself spending some time in there trying to, get that perfect little 1-2 combo that I can do all purpose. As you upgrade parts, I tend to leave the sliders alone so I can experience the new upgrades, and then I go back and mess with with my tuning, the decals and stuff to make your car look pretty. I like how it's done. This is probably the most customization you've seen in a Need for Speed game, other than Shift series, in a very, very, very long time, which gives you that underground feeling. And that's what we all chasing. We're all chasing Underground 3, right? Although they never really promised us that. You get what I'm saying? And that's where my expectations over exceed the game. And I've been trying very, very hard to limit that, but there are other things that go with that. There are fundamental things that, for me, just doesn't make me feel 100% confident at me making a solid purchase right now for the game. I say maybe a couple months down the line, when I see the other content, because there's a lot of rinse, wash, repeat. I don't care about, because if you played Midnight Club LA, you're already used to it. I don't care about these dudes calling me to advance the story every fucking 30 seconds, as people say. I don't care about none of that, because you don't have to answer it. It's just making you do the game. If you play the game the way the game is made, it's helping you earn money so you can buy cars, so you can do what you got to do. I like that there's only 6 cars that in your garage, and you're not having a plethora of cars. Like, yo, get your 6 cars, maybe make 6 builds, one that's going to be straight aesthetics, so you can get one of the guys to like praise you for that. Maybe get a car that's going to be super fast with some good grip. Maybe get a car that's always going to be a drift. And then get the cars that you want to stunt on some motherfuckers online. And also get the cars that's just your baby, like no matter what, like it's all purpose, do everything. You know what I mean? Like, this is the master build, as they like to say. So I do appreciate that. That is a pretty good deal. As far as the other stuff, the little things that's in there, you can now, usually when you used to ride up behind a car, you would hold the button and it will always put y'all like in a sprint race. I like the fact that I can get behind a car, press that same button, but then choose, are we gonna do a drag, or not a drag, let me not say that, we're gonna do a sprint, or we're gonna do a high speed, or are we gonna do I think there was a pursuit one. I could be wrong about that, because I was flipping through it, because once I saw that we could do drift, I was like, what? And I was always catching people in the what I call devil's curves inside of the game. It's the lower left part of the map, and I'm like, yo, this is dope. I can challenge someone to do just one-on-one drifting. Like, that's dope. And you can do that with cars in the world at all time, not just the NPC cars, the AI cars. You could do it with other live players inside the game. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think one of the things that they're going to support later, which I really hope they do, and they said they have a plan for this game, a long-term plan for this game, where they're going to evolve the game over time, which is where I'm looking forward to these days. And I think I'm going to start buying more games 3 to 4 months down the line now, is if they add drag racing. There is not another game in this world. Gran Turismo guys, I love you, but I'm sorry. Forza Motorsport guys, I love you, but I'm sorry. Underground 1 and 2 had the best drag racing mode I've ever played in my life. It's fun, it's exciting, it's the street stuff, and that's because that's my preference. And because that this is an arcade game, my preference is super exceeded here. I've waited so long to get a Need for Speed game to put that back in there, to put it back in an environment so I can have that experience, and this game is releasing without that. You get what I'm saying? In a world when I couldn't drive manual, that was my one stake at it, and I love the fact that we were racing, whether it was in a train yard, whether it was an open highway, whether it was a two-way street, and we making it 4 lanes, and we gotta drift around each other, all this crazy shit. Like, that was super exciting for me, my peoples, online, offline, split screen, back in the underground days. I chased that feeling so much that there's a game called Need for Speed World that they put in, and I played enough just so I can get to that part. Like, that's how much I missed it. And for me, it's not enough for me to purchase. I have a few friends on the Xbox that has the game. It's not enough for me to purchase. They like the game up front, they're gonna go get it. It's not enough for me to purchase right now. Is it a terrible game? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's a reason behind the NDA. There's a reason behind a delayed review. There's a reason behind all that stuff. But for me, this is where I'm stancing at. Do I think people of the Need for Speed overall brand can buy this game and be happy with it? Yeah, I bought Rivals. I was happy with Rivals. And here's something that you probably don't know about me and Rivals. I fucking hate driving an open road. When it comes to arcade races, I'm more of a city person. That's why I prefer Most Wanted over Rivals. Rivals is fucking more beautiful on the same platform than Most Wanted, the reboot. But Most Wanted gave me what I wanted, and they did it in such a super dope way that I always felt like, yo, this is it. And not to mention, Most Wanted is single-handedly responsible for making me buy car games again. And since then, I've discovered the Forza series, and I love the Forza Horizon series. I even went back and bought my beloved Midnight Club, and I just fell in love all over again. And for me, I'm chasing Underground, but I'm also chasing Midnight Club. The crew has failed me. Horizon 2 is a blessing for me that came out of nowhere. RKL, shout out to Randy Orton. You get what I'm saying? It came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't expect to enjoy that. That is my second most played game this generation. And it's fucked up because it's also on last generation. You feel me? So, for me, as much as I appreciate the Need for Speed series, as much as I appreciate what's being done here, I do enjoy playing the campaign. The other thing that does get at me is the lack of traffic. That's a big thing for me. The worlds just seem dead. The streets seem dead. If the NPCs aren't in your area, the world seems dead. See, in Horizon 2, right? They always have this weird thing of spawning the vehicles around you, right? You know, the other drivatars, they have a funny way. Like, you can pass one going on an oncoming road, or you can pass one going the same direction, floor it past them, and the next thing you know, that car is on the opposite side of the road, driving past you again. I don't have a problem with that. It's cute. But what you notice is, depending on the time of day, also depends on the traffic. And yeah, this doesn't have daytime, but come on. 7 p.m. traffic, 8 p.m. traffic, 9 p.m. traffic, 10 p.m. traffic doesn't look like 11, 12, doesn't look like 1, 2, and doesn't look like 4, 5. I say 5 because after 5 it gets daytime, and they tiptoe it. It's like at the edge. So for me, that's another big thing. I can't get jiggy with the lack of traffic in a street arcade game. The crew aspect of it, I don't want to speak on it because I haven't had to do that yet, because we all haven't been playing together. I had that experience on the beta, and because I was under NDA, I can't even get into that, and I can't even say if it's a plus or a negative thing, because I have both, right? So from what I'm experiencing right here, it's not enough for me to purchase. And the friend factor, listen, I play some game on the Xbox, the OG Xbox, called Conflict Desert Storm. This game also exists on the PS2, I believe. Yeah, it does exist on the PS2. Completely not the same goddamn game. Completely different. But this game is terrible from a mechanical standpoint. The controls Very, very, very innovative thinking. Very, especially for that time, you know, how they try to make you do what you was trying to do with those controls. I thought it was pretty dope that how they attempted to do it. They could have finagled it some more. That game is a terrible game. Not like terrible, like a 2 out of 10, but by myself, the game is horrible. With friends, the game still feels the same way, but it's so much more fun with friends. Things become tolerable with friends. For me, the crew, if everybody dedicated 5 hours a week in one playthrough session and a full lobby in the crew, of course I would enjoy the crew more. But like I said, I don't like to base my purchases on another person. That's the reason why people are beefing about online only, because if your internet is out, or if you want to take your console somewhere else that doesn't have internet access, you can't just do random shit in the fucking world. You get what I'm saying? So you can't even play the campaign on Need for Speed if you don't have online access. You can be offline mode, that's in there, but you hear me? You guys hear me out? So, you know, that's pretty much my impressions of this, why I'm not buying this game at start. My friends are awesome. You guys are awesome. You may influence me to just do it anyway and we roll up. But for me, it is disappointing, but I'm excited to see where this game is going down the line. We'll be tracking this game down the line. I think it's a butterfly effect of what's happening in the industry. I am going to make a video that explains exactly what I mean by that. And if you want an quick idea what I'm talking about, go to Drive Club's Facebook page. Go from the launch of the Facebook page and skim through their posts that talk about updates. Look at Killzone. I just said 2 PlayStation games, right? Same thing for Killzone. Look at any Halo release before Master Chief Collection. See how they supported the content down the line. And I'm not saying Halo 4 release any kind of messed up, because even Killzone didn't. But look how they supported the game and how the game evolved 3 to 6 months down the line. What's another game I could talk about that's done that? Armor 3 on the PC. Forget about the mods. Look at the game that it dropped as it dropped, and the game wasn't broke when it dropped. Look how it's evolved over time. Look at it evolve over time. And I think this is a trend that everybody's starting to do, so they make it seem like, yeah, you know, we're releasing this bullshit game. What I think was happening is they just a preview of that video. I think they have a game that can pass inspection. They pass that game out, and then the stuff is already complete. Just like I think Halo 5, all the maps are already complete. At least enough that would have been that make the Halo package a little better. I think they scale back on it so they can be like, look guys, we're giving you this new content. Look, we're working. Look, we have things going on. I'm not saying they're not working, but I don't think they're working on that stuff. I think that stuff is already done. So that's another video for another time. I just wanted to share that to you guys. So if you don't see me throwing around Need for Speed stuff beyond the 10 hours that I'm playing it, or the 5 hours of right now, that's the real reason why. And I do think the NDA shit is some sucker shit that's been going on, and I don't stand for it, but that's a whole nother topic in itself. Good day. I have some Halo videos coming out. Check those out too. Peace.
Wow, way to initiate those corners. Haven't seen that kind of skill in a while. Keep it up, hotshot.